Thanks for coming on. Now, before we get into TSA's response, can you talk about how these locks work and how these were promoted by the TSA when first introduced about 12 years ago?
Sure, absolutely. So when the TSAs first started marketing these travel sentry locks, they were saying that, you know, this is a way to compromise between having TSA be able to inspect your luggage and make everything secure, especially post 9/11, but also so that you can still maintain your security. You can put the lock back on, so no one else at all besides the TSA agents can have access to your luggage. So it was never marketed in a sense of just being, you know, kind of for your peace of mind. It was marketed as a way to increase your security.
Now, the hack locks actually, from what you mentioned in the story, came from like Washington Post photos. How is it that they were able to take these like photos and designs and just up close shots of these master keys and turn them into like 3D printed hacked keys?
Sure. So how the whole thing started, it's kind of an interesting saga that the whole thing wasn't previously reported. So the Washington Post did a story a year ago about, which include photos of the TSA keys. So yeah, they're there. So various people on the internet, a few people on Reddit started noticing that those photos were out there, and they started kind of discussing, you know, can we possibly copy the keys from this image? Are the photos detailed enough so that we can see the ridges of the keys and actually create CAD files so that people can 3D print them? And most people have said that even just the Washington Post photos would have been enough to do that. But actually, even there was an additional thing that happened where a couple hackers on Reddit were sort of thinking, can we get any more detailed photos? Could we make this even stronger? And Travel Sentry was actually hosting a document which was completely unprotected. All that these people had to do was crawl the website and get a hold of a specific URL, and they got access to incredibly detailed photos of the master keys.
So that's the company that's in charge of enforcing security guidelines for the TSA-approved locks, and they're the ones who published what was needed to 3D print the keys.
Essentially, yes. Unknowingly, they didn't intend for that document to be public, but it was not very well protected at all.
And when they were told that it wasn't well protected and that people had access to these keys, their response was just, meh?
Pretty much, that was TSA's response. TSA essentially said, you know, these locks aren't really a part of our security scheme. We don't really care. They're more for travelers' peace of mind than anything. When luggage is in our possession, these keys don't prevent us from going into the luggage. And, you know, this isn't important to us, really. So basically, all those years when they were saying, you really have to get these locks, these are really going to protect you, we highly recommend this is part of our security, they were lying. Is that what we've learned? Essentially, yes. And technical experts, including Chris Degoyan at ACLU, have said, you know, this is just a straight-up lie, that these locks were meant to be important for security. If the TSA is saying this, then there was never that intention.